VT Corner. Hokies beat Georgia Tech in an ugly game, 21-6. I want to start by saying that we won and we covered. And so I'm not upset at all. I was there. When you're there, you want to see a win. And boy, howdy, did we get a win. But the offense was really bad on Saturday. 233 yards of offense. It's our third lowest total in 3 years. 3.8 yards per play is just dreadful. That's by far the lowest of the season. I think against Marshall, we were 4.6. Every other game has been around 6 yards per play. So 3.8 is really low for this offense. And what's weird is it's not like we went up against steel curtain here. You know, Georgia Tech is not known for having elite defense. They're better than they were last year, but by no means are they some kind of elite defense. So to put up 3.8 yards per play was surprising. I mean, when me and Sam did the 2D preview, I expected to get at minimum 28 points, and we had our chances. But 21, it's fine when you only give up 6. I will say that. Let's talk a little bit more about the O before we move to defense, because that was the better side of the ball. Drones was off. He was off a little bit. Just 128 passing yards and 6 rushing yards, a 25 QBR. He did have 3 touchdowns, scoring in all 3 different ways. He had the Philly special reception, which was just so cool. It was my 2 worlds colliding, being a Philly fan. I was sitting down with Pat and Billy when that happened, so I was very close to the touchdown. That was sweet. He had the rushing TD and he had the passing TD. No interceptions. He had a fumble, but we recovered it. But the offensive line in this game really struggled. Right after having their best game against BC, they had arguably their worst game since Pry's first year in this game. And I don't really understand why. I know Chaplin got hurt and had to go out of the game later on, but it's a little bit of a mystifying performance right after we break the school rushing record, right? Tootin had 79 yards on 17 carries, which is fine. No touchdowns. Him getting hurt at the end of the game is a whole nother issue, although Jalen Lane kind of made light of it today on, I think it was ACC Network, saying like, he's a drama queen. Like, he'll be fine when we need him. So that was encouraging and a little funny. But yeah, Tootin and Chaplin leaving the game definitely kind of sent a shockwave through the fan base. People were talking about that afterwards. But the offense playing so poorly, it was, were they feeling themselves a little bit after BC? I don't know. Just 2 of 15 on third down. We had 8 3-and-outs in this game. Maybe if you take the last one away because it was towards the end of the game, it's 7. But even 7 3-and-outs, that's ugly, man. Fortunately, the defense played well, only allowing 356 yards and 4.4 yards per play. But it was a backup QB, and Georgia Tech dropped, from what my eye, at least 2 first downs, like big gaining pass plays that were dropped. It might have been 3 or 4. There was a lot of mistakes by Georgia Tech and other self-inflicted kind of wounds. Just 1 sack for the defense and 5 tackles for loss. But we did have 5 passes defended, 2 interceptions, 7 hurries. I mean, APR was getting in there. We didn't get all the sacks, but they were getting in there. 14 possessions for Georgia Tech in the game. 6 points allowed. That's pretty impressive. I mean, we gave them every opportunity in the book to score and come back. We just kept punting and kept punting. And the defense managed to get off the field when it mattered. So kudos to them. Keontae Jenkins had an awesome game. 10 total tackles, 8 solo tackles. 8 solo. That is incredible. 2 tackles for loss for him. And Georgia Tech outgained us by 100 yards in this game. That's one of the last notes I hear. Out first, downed us 17-11 and had 5 more minutes of possession. So you read those stats, over 100 yards more than us, 6 more first downs, 5 more minutes of possession. And we still won and covered with that stat line. I mean, it's about time, right? It's about time we had one of these games where we play like crap and we still win. Now, to play like crap and still win by 15, that's a little wild. But when you're going up against a backup quarterback, you certainly hope to win and cover the spread, and we did. The MVP of this game, was it Peter Moore? Because it really might have been 49 yards per punt on 10 punts. 10 punts. 5 of those punts went over 50 yards. He had a 57-yarder in the game. Him and Jalen Lane really helped with field position. And that might explain how we were able to have the stat lines that we do and still win the game like we did. So I'll end my VT corner like I started it. It was ugly, but we won and we covered. So it's nice when you play bad and still win by 2 scores. Number 24 in the SP Plus, still top 25 team, even after a not great performance. It bodes well in terms of predictability. That's what the SP Plus is for. It's supposed to be predictive. So let's hope it stands up against Syracuse. We will talk more about this game and the Syracuse game on Too Deep later this week.